is the ticker? Yeah, here it is. Question right over here. How many of you like running? Come on, there are more people. I'm very sure all of you will realize that it's not just these few people, but all of us. We run every day with a thumb, right? Actually, you run almost a marathon every month by using your thumb, by looking all the content on different type of social media. Mind you, LinkedIn is one as well. And how much of that content is actually about generative AI recently? I would guess it's quite a bit, right? Every morning we wake up, not only in LinkedIn, but also in our Instagram now, you see enough of these opportunities where you can use generative AI. And what does that do to us, right? It's not just our social media, it's the expectation from our organization, it's the expectation looking at the youngsters who have just started working, that all of a sudden, you feel the need to use every kind of AI tool which is available recently, right? And with that, what we do is, what I call the shiny toy syndrome, is that we pick up that tool and we start straight away thinking that how am I going to use it? A lot of people say, when ChatGPT came in, is that it's going to change my life forever. Not even realizing ChatGPT is a company and GPT is actually the technology. But when you question them further, that how is it going to change your life? And no one had an answer, right? But I think that was the main thing, because we said that let's take the technology and use it the way we can. And mind you, we've been doing it all our life, right? Metaverse was earlier, a decade back when QR code was really new. People put hoardings with QR codes on it, expecting people to drive and then scan a code. But it's very important to first ask the right question, is that what is it solving for us, right? What is the outcome that this will drive? And then think about, how you're going to use it, right? And a lot of us think that we can outsource that job to the technology. But don't fool yourself. It's us. It's us who has to decide that, how we're going to use the technology, what's the outcome it's going to drive. Outcome can be business outcome. Outcome also can be thought leadership in your business or personally. Outcome can be learning as well. But it's really critical to understand that who's going to do that? It's all of us. So let's kill the big elephant in the room. That question comes all the time when you talk, is that, is AI going to take a job? Poor AI is not here to take our jobs. The AI is only here to make us superhumans, right? It's how we use it with our intellect will decide that, what we do out of it, right? So yeah, with that, I'm Swagat Choudhury. I'm part of Mars. I'm part of the I'm Global Digital Director in Mars in Digital Commerce. A little about me. I am very new to Mars. I'm 4 months in. My past was with the alcohol industry. I spent long 17 lovely years with Diageo, working on different digital capabilities there. And along with it, I take pride that in my free time, I volunteer for an organization called Doc Trust, where I'm a trustee. About Mars, I'm not going to bore you about it, but it's a lovely company where we do some lovely brands, a lot about pet care, a lot about where I come from is the snacking, which is your chocolates and your mints. And of course, we have a line of food and nutrition as well. But let's get into content, right? The first one, 1971 is not a year. No, it isn't my date of birth. It's actually the number of creative in an average you need to turn around for one campaign, just one campaign. Yeah, it sounds overwhelming. It always does to me. And what's driving that, right? This is just the media ecosystem, how it's, this is 2023. If I keep growing it, I guess it's going to take the whole screen over here. As the media ecosystem evolves, the need for creative keeps changing. Need of content keeps increasing every day. And mind you, I'm only talking about media over here. The world today is not media. We all are consumers. We consume content in different parts, and we expect it to be consistent. So if you try to take it to an omni-channel world, that chart behind is going to expand or explode beyond our imagination, right? And hence, what does it do? We can't rely on the old ways of content creation any longer, unfortunately, right? Because it was laborious, it was time-consuming, it was expensive, it was impossible. But mind you, obviously, creativity doesn't go. When I say creative and creativity, they are two different things. We still have to drive the same the juice of creativity to drive the outcomes, right? So it's really a difficult job to do. And hence, what does it do to us? I have been told so, I've never seen it, is that when an ostrich sees trouble coming, it digs a hole and puts its head in it. I don't know if anyone has seen that, but I've been that ostrich many a times. My agencies have been, my teams have been, because you don't know what to do. All of a sudden, the answer is that we can't do this creative. Like, how often you've got an answer from your agency or team saying on 1st of December that we'll do it in next Christmas. No one has seen the next Christmas. So I think that's the key problem. But the good news is that technology, automation is here for rescue, because what technology is going to do is that it is going to give us the superhuman power to do more, much more out of it. As Tom was mentioning in the previous talk as well, is that how do we get technology to make us awesome and do more? So that's the power, and hence we need to figure out that what are those areas where it can help us to do that. Lovely. I'm going to cover 3 things today in content, very practical stuff, but the way I look at it in content is that there are 3 things that you do at the moment. Seen content, second is read content, and third is spoken to content, which is emerging, right? But before we go into a little detail on each of these, first and foremost, if you just look around, how similar are we than different? You would agree that we are more similar as all of us. The reason we came in a rain all the way today is because of the creative juice or our energy towards it, right? The same goes for your content or other themes as well. So I think when you look at a brief and when your agency says that you need 3 different campaigns for your retail, for your e-commerce, for your TV, for your outdoor, question it again, what's the similarity? Because the fact of the matter is we cannot do as much as required, right? And only when you see similarities, all of a sudden, you start seeing that how less you have to do, and hence you do that really well to ensure that that same consistent creative flows through. The second one, I choose the number 5. It can be any number, your lucky number, but look at a power of 5. And I always question that, can I take 5 visual content which is modular in nature and 500 words of written content, and how far can it take it? If you put that to practice, those 500 words and 5 visual will take you to everything that you need to do, almost, right? And hence, look at that and try to always question your teams as well, that how do you do that? Let's deep dive a bit on the scene content to start with, right? First and foremost, as I said, left Diageo, very new to Mars. So I'll use creative cues which are created by amateur skill sets of mine, right? This is me working on Canva, trying to create something. But I hope I get the message out is, means I took a brand for a beverage, yearning for summers. We still don't have it as yet, but hopefully it's going to come soon. But look at a campaign where it cuts across multiple occasions, a brand that cuts across multiple variants and multiple channels, right? And let's look at how it comes to life. The first and foremost, we spoke about modularity. So all of a sudden, can the same creative theme work in multiple occasions? Can it work for multiple variants? That's a very good question to ask when your agencies are storyboarding, doing tissue paper sessions to question that, right? And when you come to that answer, yes, these are the elements that we can create modular and hence use it further. Then again, a very simple question. And again, it works from the best of the campaigns, most complicated campaign to the simplest one, is that can you split the creative into the product, the props that goes along with it, the people, the background, and all the call to action. Because if you're able to do that, all of a sudden by a little incremental task, your creative is ready to go be used across geography, across timeline, across brands. And hence, it becomes much more powerful. So in that one campaign, you can invest much more than what you would have done in 2 years. Let's look at some of the features that we spoke about, right? So product was the first thing. So not even AI, but let's, CGI, which is a cousin of AI, obviously powered by AI to get these outputs. But let's look at, how digital twins really enables in today's world. The world is changing quite a bit. 5 years back, brand managers used to laugh at me when I said, we're going to do a digital twin for Johnny Walker. They said, no, that's going to make a plasticky bottle. But the fact of the matter is that, today machines can make hyper-realistic creative. And what it also does is that you can generate it again and again. You can create versions of it, right? Mostly because of efficiency, most of our packaging are usually similar, right? And hence it's only a version of that. So if you've created a great digital twin, you can take it further. You can also think about the cost mitigations. A bottle shot or a product shot looks very simple, but it costs quite a bit because you want to do the best job out of your creative. And trust me, the digital twin will not just give you realistic but hyper-realistic outputs. So this is definitely one area. Simple stakes, set it up as a base for your products. The second one is also people, right? This is obviously the controversial one, definitely. But the fact of the matter is that today AI is evolved enough to create similar to PAC's hyper-realistic people. Look at La La Land's website and see some of the models they do for fashion industry. It'll be difficult for you to say that are they real or not, right? But of course, when you're using, in use cases, people, be very careful. First of all, obviously, always check with your CR. I know there's a representation of multiple kind of companies and agencies here, but for some companies, it might have bigger implications in CR, in creator economy. But some of you who are in startup world and can't do that shoot with 10 models, why not? Rather than not doing it, it's best to do it. So it's always good to check with your CR. It's good to see your ethics and purpose nuances. Not naming a brand. Someone used last year, in a year and a half back, apparels, they used models with AI. The intent was right. They could do more, but they used the angle of diversity in that. That is where it bit them and should have bit them also. The next is visual backgrounds. The fact of the matter, again, if anyone uses attention-driven AI tools, it will tell you that your backgrounds in your campaigns has a very big subtle role, but not a direct role. And you don't want it to be. If you're selling a product, you want the product to be hero, not a Miami Beach, right? And hence, I think it's great that what you can create with generative AI, just for using for background, just to create the feel of it. And this is, again, me, amateur, doing on Canva. Your creative agencies, your teams can do a much better job out of it. And again, the implications of that, obviously, you can test faster. You can see the concepts much faster. Second, no travel, which is a bad news for all of us who would have enjoyed a holiday, but good for business. CFO will love it, right? And you get output in real time to test as well. And I know that there are no clear carbon footprint, measurements as of now in creative, savings, but that's another thing to look for. Next thing, a year back, I would have played the video of Sora for 2 minutes and happy, we all would have loved it. You all would have seen what Sora can do, but the fact that I'm trying to show is that Sora has been saying that for a while. This world is changing. There are multiple other platforms like Dream Machine, which has got democratized. You and me can today go and use similar creative, take a visual and create a video out of it. So this is definitely another area, like we spoke about the backgrounds, videos, simple videos, which you don't have to travel across the world to shoot, right, and do your business. So everyone is in level ground now. This is me on coffee last night, and I'm a fast coffee drinker, so it took very less time. Just to show you an idea that, I just took Kind Bar's, link of Amazon, put it, and within minutes, it gave me a video out of it. Of course, people can do a better job. They can edit the script. They can look at the layouts, but, that is the potential of also in a, as you say, UGC kind of content as well, leaner content as the world becomes a 6-second world in videos. Lovely content. The next thing that comes in is that when you execute, how are you going to execute all this lovely stuff, right? And this is us very close to holidays, and this is our life. The poor dog with the specs, right? It's like, because most of our holidays as marketers is about doing your job. You're on the beach, but you're still checking your email, talking to your agencies. But what are the tools which can automate it much faster? So let's look at two concepts. First is obviously dynamic creative optimization. Has been there for a long, long time. In fact, this is on purpose I took this because it's a 7-year-old campaign that we created. But what it did is that you can set up your audience occasions in different part of the world. This was done in 13 airports, to do the ads. Different occasions, Christmas, after Christmas, 1st of Jan when people are grumpy, what do you show them? Everything. And then you go on holiday. So that's about real-time optimization. And the second is similar, dynamic creative adaptation. Do your maths or ask your procurement how much we spend per adapt. That's a whopping large number of money. And no one in the agency enjoys doing that work. They rather work on a creative brief than doing these adapts for you. And today AI can take you pretty far by setting the right sizes to always stay fit. The second, I'm running out of time, is the red content. Very important for our business. Not the most attractive one, but really important in e-commerce, in SEO, right? This is a space which is also evolving. This is again an example of one brand. What does it take in written content? And 10 million words is actually the truth, And again, what does that do? If I have to write 10 million words of written content, I go back to be an ostrich, right? That's what it does to me. But this is where, and no one is interested in written content. It's not as interesting or sexy as your video shoots or visuals. It's just a lot of lines of writing. But I think this is a great space. There are a lot of tools now where you can set your guidelines, you can set your brand tonality, you can set your keywords, and you can automate the output. Of course, this is not going to solve 100%. It'll take you 90% there, 10% you still have to do proofreading with AI. And last is what is emerging, right? Is spoken to content, right? Because and a lot of talk about chat GPTs and stuff, when I joined Mars, I looked for kind as a product, a healthy product, and I think the GPT did a good job to tell me what are the available products in this category and what I should be buying. Same is going to get replicated in your Amazons, Tesco's, Walmarts in no time. That's already started coming in and it's going to come in. And then the spoken to, when I told my daughter that I'm joining Mars and Kind as a brand, she literally spoke to the Alexa. I didn't know you can do that actually. And then it started giving answers. And that's coming up. We will start more speaking to the systems and order our stuff or ask a lot of other stuff. And then it's going to evolve quite a bit, right? So I think this is an example of a video that how realistic can be. All of you can create this on HeyGen. The free version is decent, but it gets you quite hyper-realistic content of yours. So if you do a lot of team training, you can use AI to do that for you. And it's going to evolve with time. Your interactions with richness of AI and GPT with visual cues will be really grateful for a lot of industry like sales, pre-sales, post-sales kind of places. Last one, this one is really interesting. Please try it, Hume.ai. It's a beta. It understands now from your voice, your sentiments, and answers accordingly. I asked it that I'm going to Turkey and I'm going to trek on a volcano. It gave me a very interesting answer. It didn't write me off because then I wouldn't have. I said, what a shit tool it is. But it told me very nicely that going to a volcano can be really risky. So be careful. So this is definitely where the future is coming. Imagine the power of AI where you can understand a consumer's emotions and voice modulation and accordingly do content will be really powerful. And yeah, so a lot of this is, machines are not doing it, right? End of the day, all these generative AI, is seeking content from, systems optimizations as well. So it is us, right? It is no prediction. It's not God's work. It is literally us. We have to optimize it. Because where the future is going is, we spoke a lot about SEO, but where it's evolving is generative engine optimization. I'm learning about it. You can Google this actually, just Google GEO, things to do in New York. It gives you a very systematic way. So SEO is going to evolve quite a bit. It's not dead. People say, is SEO dead? Not really, but it's going to evolve quite a bit because it is going to take, real examples and then, give you an entire suggestion and plan what you want to do when you eat pizza in New York and what else do you do. And also, I like this because, many times dipstick studies are thanks to AI in our hands, in our palms. If you're worried about what your product is doing, yes, reviews tells you a lot, but you're not going to read 5,000 reviews. But that's where some free tools like Amazon AI literally summarizes and tells you what customers are saying. It's a good place to start with rather than being blind. Of course, better is to go deeper. So yeah, means end of the day, 30 seconds left. 3 key takes. First is, I think, stay curious. the best lenses that we wear, look it from your lens, what works for you. Second is obviously stay curious and try. The world has changed. We don't have to now spend £1 million to test something. We can literally swipe a card, or don't even have to swipe a card. Give a Gmail and it gives you for free. But I think the last but, every time we do something, we are responsible for ourselves, for our organization, and for the people we represent or talk to. So hence, always staying responsible is really critical. I'll end it with this great use case of AI. I really love it. I want to see it, how they're taking accessibility, this company, on reaching out with AI to people to use sign language to a lot of all your visual content and spoken content. I can't wait for the day I'll see things like this on a Netflix or Amazon Prime as a ways of working. So with that, yeah, that's my time. Thank you.